Hello everybody, once again welcome to our HTML5 and CSS course tutorial 8. Without wasting my time, let's dive straight then. Now if you could remember our previous video, we then cover a section of how to write a comment, and I'll be leaving a link here where you guys can go and take a recap of that, of how to write a comment. Now let's move to today's segment. Today's segment we'll be looking at how to write HTML style. What about HTML style? What is an HTML style? HTML style is used to style an HTML element and also to make changes to default values. For example, or for instance, styling can change the default value of a text color as black and background as white, text alignment as left, and the text size as 12 pixels. Now, how can you put all this together? Without wasting my time, I'll be right back after this intro. Welcome back. Now, without wasting my time, let's dive straight into our text editor. I'm using a Sublime text. I'm going to just move straight to my Sublime text. So this is my text editor. As I just said on my previous video, we didn't talk about HTML comment, so therefore I'm just going to open a new page and then move on to today's segment. So I'll click on file and click on new. Now moving on. Now what I like to do, that remember in our previous lesson I told you guys that for you to write your code, it's very important that you make sure you save your web page, so that at least when you're writing your code, it will be very easy for you, so the codes will be popping up for you to just write, easy to use. That without wasting my time, I'll just save my web page as HTML style. So I just click on save as, then I'll select my desktop, and this is it here. Then I'll just go ahead and then give it a name as HTML. We are using, how to call it, style, so I just call it HTML style. I'll join it together. .html, which is the file extension. Then I just go ahead and click on save. So that is just that. So I'll just go ahead and declare my values now, my variable. So remember, I'll just go ahead and declare my HTML code. Now remember, we said that an HTML code for a style, an HTML style, we said they are styles that are used to style an HTML element and also to make changes to default variables. For instance, when one is writing an HTML code, you can choose to change the text color to black and the background color to white, so any which way. So let's look at how this is being written. Now without wasting my time, let's go straight to do the doc declaration. So HTML, see that I just select it and press enter. Then I'll give a name to my HTML as the title of my HTML document here, this very side. Remember on our previous video, now you know it, so let's move straight to the point. It's going to be HTML, so I'll call it style. Okay, I'll call it style. Okay, sorry about that. Call it style. Okay, then after that, then I'll go ahead and come to the body. Now we are going to base on something we call inline styling. One thing about inline styling, there are two ways in writing an HTML inline styling. Okay, inline styling, I'm talking about that. Now inline styling always come with, you always use an HTML, how to call it, a style type. Okay, I'll be throwing more light on this right now for you to see how to write an inline style, or how to style inline, okay, or inline styling. Now without wasting my time, let's write a paragraph, and let's call this paragraph, let's say the paragraph should be named, this is a paragraph, or Armstrong Computer System, basically. So I'll just go back, let's say a paragraph, let me call the paragraph and bring a close tag of the paragraph. Okay, bring a close tag of the paragraph. Now after bringing a close tag of the paragraph, now in between the paragraph, I'll go ahead and then write a statement like, okay, my favorite statement, of course, the boy is going to school. My favorite sentence, of course. So the boy is going to school. Now let's assume that me writing this header by saying the boy is going to school, and I want to write an inline style. So there are two ways in writing an inline styling. Now, as there are two ways in writing inline styling, I like you to just take note. Now when I put the cursor here, okay, let's assume that I wanted to style the paragraph, the font size of the paragraph to, let's say 12, okay, or to 12, or maybe let me assume I wanted to change the font size to 14 pixels. Now I'll just bring the mouse pointer in between the header, okay, and I'll put a cursor here, press enter, and I'll use a format called style. Okay, I'll just type my style, select it, so you can see this is my style. Now in between the style here, I'll press enter, and then I'll go ahead and I'll come and call the paragraph here, okay, the paragraph that I've written here, paragraph the boy is going to school. I'll come to this side and call the paragraph, okay, so I just bring paragraph and then bring my current bracket, and I'll press enter. Then I'll go ahead in between and say fonts, okay, so font, so I'm going to say font size, okay, font size, and I'll call it, let's say 14 pixels, okay, 14 pixels. So after calling 14 pixels, I'll just go ahead and save it. Now after saving it, when I come to my web page, so as I just moved to my folder, on my folder you see I have here where's the document, HTML style, is it here? Now when I then double click, let us see what will happen. So I just double click on it, so for it to open. So as you can see here, this is the effect, as we can all see. Let me zoom it a little bit so you guys will see what I'm talking about. So this is the effect, the font size here. Now you can see that I titled it as HTML style, so therefore that is it here. And then the font size is the boy is going to school, which is 14 pixels. Now you can also go ahead and increase the font size to any size of your choice. Now let's assume I want to write another inline styling. I'll just go ahead, go to my code, and then just say 100 pixels, and I'll save it. And after saving, I'll just you just click on file, and then you click on save. Nicely, come back to your browser, open it, and then refresh your browser. You can see how big it is. Now remember that I made it 100 pixels, so we can see that it has become very big. So let me go back to my normal size 100, my view size 100. So this is 100. Now this is the 100 pixels. See how big it is. So you can choose to use this type of method to style your web page. Now let me show you another method of using an inline styling. Remember I said that you can choose to write this very side by after you bringing the paragraph in between your body, you come to your header, your heading, then you bring your style, then come and call the paragraph in the style here, okay, in between the style. Now you can also use another method. Let me show you here. Let me take off this style, okay, and delete it. Then after deleting it, let's save it here. So after saving, let's go back to our web page, and then let's go ahead and refresh. So you can see how small it has become. Now let's look at the other way of styling another way of inline styling. So another method of inline styling is just simple. What we need to do is that we need to go back to our Sublime text, okay, that's our text editor. Now in between the paragraph here, so here in between the angle bracket, the left and the right angle bracket, where the P is, in between where the cursor is now, I'll just go ahead and bring space, and then I'll just type an attribute known as style, okay. Now in the style, then I'll go ahead and bring fonts, being my font size, because I'm using font size, so font size. Then after typing my font size, then I'll bring my font size, let's assume that I'm using 24 pixels, okay, 24 pixels. Then I'll go ahead, click on file, okay. After clicking on file, and I'll just save my web page. Then I'll go to my browser and then I'll refresh my browser. You see that it has come bold a little bit. Now let's make it 50 pixels again for you to see that. First, go back. I'll just go back again and then change here to 50, and then I'll file and click on save, and you can hold on to Ctrl+S to refresh. Then I'll Ctrl+S to save changes. So then you refresh again. After refreshing, you can see here, and it's just a little bit. So you can use this two method of writing inline styling so far as font changing font size is concerned. Now another method is that we went ahead by saying that you can also use an inline styling by changing the background color to white and the text color to what, to black. Now let's do it, I mean, the other way around, by changing the background color to black and then the text color to white. To do this is the same thing. You can choose to use the inline styling as well. So you can come here, come to your text editor. When you come to your text editor, now what I'd like you to do is just simple. Just stay with me. Now yours is to just come to where we have the body. So the body here, where we have the body here, okay? Then in between the angle bracket, so far the body is concerned, you just go ahead and then you type style, space, and then you type style. So in the style, then what I like you to do, you just have to type what, background, okay? So you type your background. Now after you type your background, now here we are using background color, so you don't use the column, okay? So you take off the column, bring hyphen color, so COLOR, nicely. Then after that, you bring the color that you want, okay? But here we are using the name of the color. So remember I said we want the background color should be black, okay? So we go ahead by typing black, okay? So BLACK. So basically that is it. Then we want the font color should be white. So how can we change the font color to white? This is just simple. Let me show you how that is being done. So what I will do is that I will just come to my paragraph here, where my paragraph is. Remember, we style, how do you call it? There was this is my paragraph here. Okay, this is my paragraph. Remember, we styled the font size as what, as 50. So now in between the after the font size, which is the 50 pixels, in between here, I'll just go ahead and then just go space, okay? I'll just go space and type color, which is COLOR, okay? Then after typing the color, and I'll bring my column, and then I'll type, let's see, color. What color do I want to use? I want to use a color name, let's say color white. That's what I just said. So I'll go ahead and type white, okay? So that is my white there, nicely. Then after that, I'll just go ahead and save my code, okay? After saving my code and refresh, guess what? You see my background color is what, is black, and my text is what, is white, okay? So basically that is just that. Now one can also change the color to any color that he or she wants. Now remember, this is inline styling. You can also go ahead and then change the color here. Let's go to my text editor. I can choose to change the color here from white to gold, okay? From white to gold, nicely. Then after that, I'll save it. So I just hold on to Ctrl+S to save that, okay? So I'll go to my browser, then I'll go ahead and refresh. Guess what? You will see my text has changed to what, to gold. Now again, you can also go ahead and change your how do you call it, your background color to any color that you want. You can just go up, let's go to the text editor. So I'll go back to my text editor, then I'll change the background color here. You can see where we have body, style, then in the quotes I have my background hyphen color. So I'll just come here and then take off, how do you call it, the black, sorry, and then just bring the color known as what, red. So my red, then I'll go ahead and then save my web page. Ctrl+S to save. Then I'll go to my browser and then I will refresh. Guess what? So I have a red background, and my text color is what, is cutoff lock yellow. So basically that is just that, and that is how you can use an inline styling or style to style how do you call it, your web page. Now so far as background is concerned, let's go by assigning a background colors to paragraphs. Okay, how to assign background colors to paragraph. Simply text color example. Let's look at the text color example so far as style is concerned. Now to do this is just simple. What I'd like you to do, the first, let's change the background color to white, and let's maintain our first color as gold as we just did. So to do that, let's go back to the text editor. So as I am in my text editor, I'll go ahead and change my background color to white. Okay, so let's do that. To white, and I'll save it. So after that, remember, we just change this background color towards the text, the paragraph color to gold. Okay, and I said we should maintain it as it is. So let's write another color here. So I'll go ahead, press enter, and start with another paragraph. Okay, so in the paragraph, I'm going to call this paragraph my, okay, let's say my, sorry about that, my color, COLOR, my color red. Okay, so this is my color red, and let's do that. Let's say, let me copy it, and let me repeat that. So I want to do red, and I want to do green, I want to do blue, so another one yellow. Okay, so this my color red. Let me change this one to my color, let's say blue, B-U-E, and this one should be my color green. Okay, color green. And the last one, let me say my color yellow. Okay, yellow. And that is it. Now to do this is just simple. So for us to just right away, write a color. Okay, I have gold here already. Gold and yellow look the same, but let's look at the difference here. So I'll come here, and then I'll go ahead and type, so in between my paragraph, in between my angle bracket, the P here, and then the tag, I'll just space it and then type style. Okay, so in the style, I'll go ahead and say color. So it's going to be COLOR. Then I'll bring my column, then I'll type the color that I want. Remember, it is red, so RED, so color red. Then I'll come to this side also, again do the same thing, type my style. Then the color I want to do is blue, so BLUE. Then after that, in between here again, you put the cursor here, you space it, then you type your style. So in your style, you type your color green. Okay, sorry, you type color COLOR, then column, then you bring your color green. Okay, now you can see I made a mistake here where I want us to correct that. This very side, you can see I just brought only blue. Okay, which is not called for. You need to bring the color. You are changing the color, so you bring the color attribute, which is COLOR, then column. Now this is okay. So here again, I want to change the color to yellow, the last one. So go ahead and type my style. So in my style, I'll bring my color COLOR, then column, then I'll bring my yellow. Nice. So after that, I'll just hold into my Ctrl+S to save changes, Ctrl+S. Then I'll just go back to my browser, and then I'll refresh my page. So you can see after refreshing the page, you can see that the colors are there. Now someone will say it's not all that big, it's not showing. Now let's increase the font size for all this so that at least they can stand out for us to see. So I'll go ahead and go to my text editor, then come to this very side in between here, then I'll increase the font size now. So my font sizing, right? Okay, ZE. My font size, I like the font size to be, let's say 25 to stand out to be 25 pesos. Okay, so this is okay for me now, 25 pesos. So basically that is just that, and I'll bring the quote here. So here you need to come here and take this quote off. Okay, then you bring your semicolon so that it to fall within. So when I come here, I'll do the same thing, space, then I'll type my font. So my font size hyphen size, okay, ZE color. My font size, I like the font size should be also be 25 pesos. Okay, where this is my color nicely. Bring my quote semicolon there. Then I'll do the same thing here also. So semicolon space. I bring my font size. Then I'll call my font size, so it should be 25. So we are working on the font size now. Then after that, I'll save that, the last one, which is the yellow. So my font size column also 25 pesos. After that, Ctrl+S to save, go back to my browser, and I refresh my page, and then voila, it's just standing out. So you can see we have red, I have my blue, I have my green, and I have my yellow. So that is how one can go ahead and also change, how they call it, assign font colors to text, okay, and also increase the font size. Now let's look at the next one, where I'm going to talk about font alignment. So far as style is concerned, how can we use fonts to style, okay, to align, how can we use the style element to align our text. Now to align your text is just simple. Let's assume that you need to use a style alignment, also a style attribute called aligned. Okay, let me show you how that is being done. So we go back to our text editor. So we have this already here. Okay, so let me just go ahead and leave this one, and then let's create another paragraph. Okay, so paragraph where we call the first one, let's call the first one I am okay, so let's say I am aligning left. So align keyboard, okay, aligned what? Aligned, let's see, left, the first one for left. Okay, then I'll go ahead and copy this, paste, so I have this, I'm aligned left, so this one too, we call it I'm aligned center. So let's call this one center there. Center, TER, and then let's call this I'm aligned what again, let's say right. So let's use two alignments. Okay, so right, so let me take this one off, it'll be fine. So I have this alignment now. Now you can see I wanted to align this left and right. Now for you to align your text is just simple. Don't be aligned using the style. just put the cursor. We are using the inline styling, so put the cursor here, space it, and you just type your style. So after typing your style, then you type the align attributes. So you type text. So to use the align attribute, text aligned. Okay, so text aligned. Then you bring whether left or right. So here is left. So text align left. Okay, then you come here, you do the same thing to this one. Also, you space it. So style, which is our style. Then you say text. Okay, text align. So text align right. Okay, sorry, center. This one is center. So that is just that. And then the last one will say style. You go by saying text aligned right. Okay, nicely. Then after that, I'll save this. So after saving this, when I come to my browser and I refresh, guess what? You can see I have the first one is at left, the second one is center, and the last one is at the right. So basically that is how you can align your text left, center, and right in your web page. Now as a beginner, you need to get to understand this basic stuff before you can build a whole web page and website, but don't worry, I'm going to teach you that. Now let's look at how to also dealt with something we call text font family. Okay, that is font style. So that we call it a text font family. How to use the font family here. Now to use the font family is just simple. You can use any of the font family that you want. You can choose to use let's try to use a font known as Times New Roman. Okay, so to do that is just simple. What I like you to do is go to your text editor, and then in your text editor, let's assume that the first text that we just written, which is aligned left. Okay, let's create another paragraph. So another paragraph here, and then in the paragraph I'll write God is good. Okay, so something like that. God is good. So just for education purpose, God is good, and so all the time basically. So here let's assume they wanted to align, let's say assign a font family to it. So remember I told you I wanted to use a font family known as for Times New Roman. Okay, and then let me say God is good all the time. Now for us to see how effective it will be, let's use paragraph for this one, and let's use header for the next one. Header 1 will be fine with me. Header 1, and let's say let's write something like text. Okay, text font family kind of will be fine with us. Okay, so now here to style this, I'm teaching you something simple. Now what you see here, when we have the paragraph, you space it and then you bring the style. Remember we are using style. So after typing the style, then you just type font, the font family. So you just have to bring the attribute of font family. Okay, so font hyphen family. Okay, then after that you go ahead, you bring the type of font you want to use. If you want to use Times New Roman, you go ahead and type Times. Okay, Times what new. Okay, Times New Roman. Okay, Times New Roman. You go ahead and type that, which is perfectly it's also accepted. You can use elephant, you can use any other font you want to use. So after we've done that, then the next font I like us to use for this, you can go ahead and use any font. You can use a font known as let's see what font you want us to use. Guess it yourself. So let's assume we wanted to use a font known as elephant. So here you space it, then you type your style, then you go ahead and then type a fonts, okay, hyphen family, then you bring your column. So after that you type the font you want to use, which is elephants. Okay, I'll save that. After saving that, what I like to do is just simple. We just go ahead and then go to my text, my browser, and then refresh the page for us to see the effect. Let's go then. When I come to my browser, and as I am on my browser, the moment I refresh, guess what? You can see here. So this is the first one. God is good. Is kind of God is good here. You can see it's what it's Times New Roman, and then text font family is elephant. So you can choose to use any of these to style your web page. Okay, so basically that is just done. Now moving on, I like us to just look at how we can put this together. So far as what our style is concerned, you can choose to write the inline style in a way by in between. Let me go back to the text editor. You can do that in between your header. You can choose to come and call your style here after the metal name. You bring the mouse pointer in between here, then you just call your style. It will work perfectly, or even beneath the title, it also work perfectly. Any which way you write it, it will work for you. And thank you guys so much. Catch you in the next tutorial or the next video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.